Do you want me to do the recap? Isaac's remembering the important things, obviously. Who did you travel with? Okay. Emily Markley. What's her What's her specialty? She's I did tell them that their note making was pretty pathetic. I'll have you know. Sh- She's a state. You can scroll up on the chat, by the way. It's a permanent chat. Yeah. She's a state champion swimmer. She'd already beaten all the records as entering her first year into. I'm. You might have to up your volume a little bit, Pierre. You already set time maximum. There's a fishery. What do you remember of the fishery? The fishery was mentioned. It's wherever all the other houses were. Everything else was decrepit. The fishery was pristine, well kept, stone building. Yeah. There's a lighthouse. There's homes, village hall, docks, a sort of a police station style thing. There's a local shop. What do you remember of all of them? Oh, Isaac's in trouble. Look. I'll have a Red Bull, Ice. What does Emily do when she sees the sea? Isaac waddled after her. Yeah, there's no youngsters. So Emily runs down the pier to the end of the pier. She's down there. They all think that she's about to commit suicide, so they run after her. She's at the end of the pier. She's crying and blubbering about how beautiful it is, and she feels like she's at home. Isaac walks past one of the boats. What you recognised? Fucking hell. He goes past on the, he goes on past on the boat, and he notices it's even though the housing, everything away from the shore is like decrepit and crap, dirty, that sort of stuff. Inside, well, the boat is pristine, basically never been used. Never been used. There's no fuel on board. There's no fish on board. Nothing like that. It just seems to be like a token ships there. Do you remember that, Isaac? Yeah, nice one, Ice. Everything. Oh yeah, so they had a party on the beach because they had a bit of time to kill, and when they left, the people came and raked the beach, raked the sand. What happened before that, Eyes? There was no music. It was getting foggy beforehand. There was like a fog rolling over the. You went to punch him and punch the wall. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Meat cleaver. After taking sanity hits. You get back to the house and then you'll settle down for the night, setting up bear traps and shit around the house. You're right there. You're right there with your puzzle book, Bev. Yeah, Dan bought like basically 12 liters of Coca-Cola. So they set that up around the perimeter. What happens once you went to sleep, Beth? She tried to rob Emily for some reason. I don't know why. Why you rob Emily? Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, that was in the train with what looked like sand circling the hut. Do you remember that? It was a hut, um, yeah, like a hovel, but he'd set up like spike traps around the hovel. So it's like the glades. So it's like swamps all over, all surrounding this whole place. And he or she set up built a little. Yeah, there's five corners, and they crit the spot, so they saw there was like a circle of what looked like sand surrounding the whole building. What happened once you all fell asleep, Beth, and you failed to rob Emily? All the coke bottles were knocked over. Yeah. What happened before when Isaac got attacked? Do you remember? And Isaac was shooting his gun off. when he was on the car. Oh fucking hell. So when Isaac was on the, he got off the cart. He went for a piss in the water, and he thinks he got attacked by this water creature. So he got his gun out and started shooting. Even though the people were on the cart and they were only about 6 meters away from them, nobody heard gunshots. Um, Nobody heard Isaac screaming until after the event. Do you remember that? Yeah. Somebody's been watching too much Teen Wolf. You shanked him though, didn't you? Yeah, and you fought, but then it put something in your mouth, didn't it? The next morning. It's a pendant. Um, no, it didn't. It didn't look like that. It looked like more what Isaac had been describing earlier. Big bulbous eyes, so with a sort of squashed face, elongated head. I've lost everyone. I got Beth doing fucking puzzles. Yeah, so it was obviously it's been it's been ripped off the face, not the face, but ripped off the neck of whatever was seeing Beth. The only other thing, Pierre, is see there's two black boxes. If you set it to 100% on the left hand side, so well there'll be another black box horizontal. Put those two boxes in the bottom left and bottom right of your screen at 100% zoom. Just scroll it. There's two bars you can scroll up and down. Yeah, but just make sure it's zoomed to 100%, yeah? And then you should see what Isaac's character looks like above his head. Yeah, that's Isaac. No. I'm like hosting this. Yeah. What's your character's name, Pierre? Pierre, what's your character's name? So, you, okay, well, Isaac, fill the rest of the team in on the roles you just did and what you succeeded. And the only other thing you forgot was while you were playing on the beach, there's somebody watching you from afar with, do you remember? Some ropes. So I'm going to carry out some of Beth's duties by doing this fucking dog. Just fill them in with that and then we'll go straight into the game. Come on then. Come on then, cops. Come on. Did you give them the information about the village and everything else you found? The occult roll? Okay. So you've all woken up in the um, in this little house, which was what's his name? Thaddeus's. Yeah, Thaddeus's uncle house. Sorry, I was distracted. I was distracted by stuff. You're looking out the window. You look out through the shutters. You see it's still quite foggy, and there's quite a heavy rain outside. You don't see anybody sort of walking around. You've probably only got about 4 or 5 meters of vision. Okay. You as you're all sitting around the table, having your breakfast and whatnot, you'll feel this sort of itch on your left arm. Your own individual left arms. As you look on the on your hand, you can see there's a well, on your forearm, running from your wrist almost to your elbow joint on the inside. You can see there's a set of runes that look they look like scar, but like red raw scarring. That's always sort of that's been there. And you look at them; they're all identical to each other. As in, to the three of you, you've all got this runed symbol on your forearms. Yeah, it's engraved. It looks like it's a scar. So you know when you have a scar that heals up over time. It turns out that white fleshy colour, sort of protruding, with like a little hump that protrudes out of your skin. It looks like that, except it's red. You can see it's still red around the edges, so quite. Emily had long sleeves and she never took her sleeves off. And you lot were like, that's fine. We'll travel with the demon woman. But yeah, so you've all got this, and you're all pretty sure. You can all make a sanity check as well, actually. D100, and you've got to get under your sanity. Ooh, Beth. Yeah, I think you're fine then. Oh, fucking hell, yeah. So none of you lose sanity at this new marking on your body. What do you want to do? She's been your friend. Yes, her bag is there. You look in her bag, and what you see is there's no there's no makeup or anything like that. The only thing you can sort of alright, there's no volume. Yeah, you thieving mongrel. There's no volume of makeup. There's like a one powder. There's one bit of lipstick. The other things in there you see are there's a book, an old book. um, old. It looks leather bound. And the other thing in there are sort of rocks, or more. They look more like shells. You don't know if that's what she'd been collecting on the beach, or if that was always in. That's what's on your forearms. You look in the book. It's yes, it's an old language which you don't recognise. You can try and do an occult roll. What did you get? It's good he's listening, isn't it? Fucking hell, if your team solves this, holy shit. You passed. Make a sanity roll for me, please. The first thing you'd notice is this book isn't leather bound. Maybe. Yes! They seem overly common. You, yeah, first you recognise you can lose another sanity. You recognise it's not leather. It's bound in human flesh. You also know the book. It's called the Book of the. It translates, or you don't know what it translates to, but it's known as the Book of the Sea. It doesn't sound nearly as foreboding as it did in my head. It does like good fishing spots. Yeah. Yeah, it's called the Book of the Sea. Um, yes, so there is yeah, okay, yeah. There's no picture, but there's like an embossing. You run your hands over it, um, over this like flesh skin tomb, and you can feel there's like slight embossing on it, and the embossing's not quite the same as that, but same sort of thing. Elongated face, big eyes, big mouth. You look in it, you start reading. Make another occult check for me, please. Hello. Okay. It talks. Make another sanity check for me. you keep you keep reading into this. Oh, roll a d4. You, as you're reading through this, it lose 3 more sanity. What are you at now? What have you lost in total? From? Oh, okay, you're good. You haven't gone mad yet. You read it. It talks about how in ancient days, villagers or towns would make pacts with sea creature. Well, don't let him. So in ancient days, it talks about how it's hard for you to translate all of it because you're only sort of skimming past it, skim reading it. But it talks about how villagers and towns, coastal towns, would make bargains with sea creatures to enable them to survive and to flourish by the sea. Um, it talks it talks about offerings having to be made to the sea. It's not clear unless you make a very hard. It talks about you. You don't know unless you spend more time reading it. This book looks incomplete, to be honest. Yeah, there's missing pages. Some of them are torn out. Some of them are damp and wet, and scripture in it sort of faded off. Ask her. It's clear. It's like a normal misty day. You've got probably about 10 meter vision. There's villagers walking about. You can see people going to the local shop, coming out with goods. You can see people milling around. No one's really working though, from what you can tell. No, not that you've seen. You can try and do a hard occult roll if you want. What did you get? Is that? Okay, yeah. You pass. You can gain yourself one Cthulhu mythos. Roll a sanity check. Did you pass or fail? Hello? Insanity, yeah. Okay, just lose one then. As you read through, you see there's normally it talks about sacred sites, normally near or over water. The closer to the ocean, the better. It talks about there's normally a ritual performed by three el. It says elder, but you don't know if it means elder or elder sign or um, Eldrazi. You don't know. It's like a rough translation, and it says it's normally performed by three village initiates or three village. Um, no, not elders so much, but more. You have trouble translating the word. There we go. No, I can't. Like three village prophecies or three village priests. It's probably a better word of saying it. Yeah, just go home. I'm done. The creature left, yeah. It's still not. It's not having breakfast. It's not having breakfast next to you. He's crossbred with an elephant. You look around the living room, and around the living room is probably hundreds of Coke bottles, all stood up around the edge of the room, the circles of the room, and any windows. And you can see, obviously, one of the windows is being opened, and all those. Well, it's closed now, but all the Coke bottles around there being knocked down. You look outside, make a track roll. The difficulty will, it's a hard track roll, but you'll get a +10, so just add +10 to your die roll. Well, I don't know, you haven't rolled anything. Oh, I haven't scrolled down. You don't you can't see where the tracks go, but you pick up you're assuming where it jumped out of the window with the extra weight of Emily. It made a deeper imprint in the mud. And then as it started walking off, it was obviously much too. It's like state of the art stealthy because you can't track it. But you can see there's footprints there. They look almost. There's no. You can't see if there's shoes. They look more like webbed feet. Um, three large toes which look webbed. She's. Yep. There's no upstairs. Yeah. Isaac's uncle was very poor. Yep. You go into your own separate room. Yeah. Actually, this could be. Make a. Oh, what do you think it's going to be, Pierre? Disguise. Make a disguise roll. You will get plus. Well, you'll get +10 because you've got her stuff, and then -10 because she's a woman. What's your skill? Fuck it now. You come back at it. You have her mannerisms and her looks. You're actually no. You've passed. So you succeeded in everything you wanted to do. You're able to reproduce her. Obviously, stuff like height difference and stuff like that you can't do. You've minimised that by wearing like putting. Um, how tall are you? 5'10". Yeah, probably about her height. She was quite tall. So you've had to put a little bit of height in your shoes. So you've got a bit of like paper in the heels of your shoes to accommodate the extra height. But you come out, and for a second, you two are like taken aback. Thinking, then you quickly realise that it's actually not Emma, and it's Dirk, and he does this because they've seen you walk in and they saw you walk back out. You've done this before, so they put what you going to try and seduce Isaac? I thought that was your plan. They've realised it's you've done this before. They know you're close enough. He, yeah, you realise this Dirk's come back out. I s- yeah, I assume it's to do something outside, not just in this room. He gets undressed again and just gets his manhood out to prove he's him. Do you try to molest him? Uh, chicken shit. Okay, you're heading out to town. What are the rest of you as my screen is going absolutely fucking mental? To where? Okay, make a sneak roll for me, please, Mr. Thaddeus. You will have -20 to your roll. Where are you going, Tara? You failed with -20. Are you walking there, Tara, or are you trying to sneak? Yeah, it's quite foggy. It's quite loud, raining, and there's traffic outside. Isaac's had enough. He's so disgusted. He's disgusted with his role. Okay. Okay, so we'll do Pierre first, well, because you're going with Isaac and he's decided to log off. Mr. Dirk, you go out into the town. For a little while, nobody sort of takes notice of you, and then you start having people come up to you and say, "Oh, hello. How are you? Really? What did you dream of?" Make a psychology test. Yeah. Turns around and says, "I don't want your fucking life story." Yes, please. So, as you're describing that scene, I assume you've passed with 11. You you can you see a look of surprise turn to panic. No, surprise turn to shock turn to panic. Come across their face. Oh, really? Really? It's good. That's strange. It must have been a really weird dream. Oh well, you can. Why don't you go to the? Let me look at my notes. Why don't you go to the village hall? Nothing. Why don't you go to the village hall? I'm sure there'll be somebody there who can help you. Maybe. Oh, then maybe the records keeper. She's been here for a while. She knows a lot, and we talk to her. Oh, we don't have any priests. What did you do? Don't know if she's loud enough. I can hear her. Yeah. No, I have trouble hearing you, but her crystal clear. um, she goes, "Oh, we don't do religion here. It's just the belief in the sea will provide. Have faith." Maybe librarian Rosemary will be your. Why is your friend laughing so vigorously in the background? You see him doing the worm. You see him doing the worm through the mud. Um, she's like, yes, maybe Rosemary's your best. Yes. Oh, there's been a storm. I just forgot to keep it run out. I had to start it again. She goes, "Oh, okay. Do you want a hand?" Oh, okay. As you make your way past, you go past the village store. You can see it's another one of these pristinely sort of kept stone buildings in total difference to the rest of the area, which is all wooden and like with moldew and rot and stuff on most of the buildings. But this is one of the few which have still got which is stoneworked. You two get to the mayor's house, or just a little bit away from what you assume is the mayor's house. What do you want to do? You're in a corridor. You can hear there's the hustle and bustle of the village itself. This few, you can't see through the wall, um, but you can. I'll just say what it looks like. You're on a muddy path with there's two of these crappy houses. You know, the woodworked houses around you. Um, in front of you there's a small. Hey, what? You okay? You just climbing through a window, through the front door, or what? Make a athletics check for me, please, Mr. Lawrence. Sorry. What bit now? I don't know. What's your sanity at, Beth? Did you pass, Isaac? No pluses, no minuses. Oh, jeez. let me get, let me get his actual character sheet. He's having a seizure by the looks of it. Alright, Tara, what do you want to do? What did he roll? 45. I think he's failed anyway. Yeah, he's definitely. Yes. Yeah, I saw. I've just brought your character sheet up. Yeah, I know, Isaac. Through the window. You watch him. You watch him go up to this window frame, and he's just like clawing it. You know, like a cat does when he can't get through a window. He doesn't actually get anywhere, but he knocks the window open in any case. What do you want to do as a team? Go Team Dream. You just go straight to the mayor's house. I don't, I don't know. No, I was trying to. So I'll set the scene fully. So you've walked down not a corridor. You've walked down this sort of alleyway, and either side of you, about 3 meters apart, you're walking along this really sort of muddy, shitty path. You can see all that green style algae all over the floor. Yeah. The houses, there's two wooden houses, decrepit, mouldy, sodden houses next to you. In front of you, there's also the path goes into like a T-junction, which is now pebbled. It's got like a pebble path around the mayor's house, which is a solid stone building. You've arrived from the side of it. So there's a window on your side, and from memory, you know the front door, where it's got front and back door. What do you wish to do? The rain's falling down. You can hear there is people milling about, but nobody directly around you at the moment. Do you want me to switch back to Pierre just to keep it going while you ever think? Dirk, you're making your way to. You go past the storehouse. Again, it's one of these fancy stone buildings. Okay, sort of think like castle stone rather than modern day brickwork. You walk past that, and you make your way to the fairly large building with there's a spire at the front of it. When I described them to him, there's like a clock spire with no clock at the top. But you can see there's like the louvres, the slated wood windows. So that's right at the top. There's an entrance, a double door. They look like big, solid oaked doors. Okay, as you walk past it, make a spot hidden test for me, please. Or... Oh, actually, there's nothing else there. as you walk past, you can see there's again there's this strange sort of green sea. It's not green. It's more like brownish seaweed all over the place. But what you also see is the steps are solid. As you're walking past it, the steps are that there's 3 or 4 steps that go up to the entrance. All the stone buildings are raised slightly off the ground, probably about a meter. And there's 4 solid stone steps. As you're walking past, you see they're all the middle of it. They're about 2 meters wide. The steps, but the middle of it up to the doors are absolutely filthy with footsteps, with tracking. The rest of the step look pristine clean, and you see 2 old people walking down with a mop and bucket to come and clean. Oh, and they start cleaning their steps as you're walking by. You carry on. You're going down to the docks, did you say? You walk down to the beach for simplicity. If you think, imagine the villages in front of you. The docks, there's a path, a stone path, which leads, not stone, but pebbled path, that leads all the way down to the beach. It runs, think of like the old school western town, a single street. So this is what this is. There's a single street. There's a few adjacent paths, but they're all mud paths, and they only contain like little houses, the shitty houses. But this path goes all the way down to the docks. It actually leads onto the pier, which is a pier slash mooring place for the docks. On the left hand side is the what you assume is a fishery. It's another massive stone building, which is most of it is actually over the water. There's only a bit of it which is on the land, and then to the right is the recreational beach which they went to. But yeah, you make your way down to the recreational beach, and this whole area is enclosed in, because you went here the other time, all enclosed in a big natural harbour. And at the end of one of the fingers that goes out to make the harbour, there's a large, well, not large, it's only about 2-story lighthouse. But you make your way down to you're down on the beach. The beach is, and that's the thing you notice, that up in the village, there's dirt, there's mud, there's rubbish, there's all this sort of stuff laying about. You look on the beach, there's not one bit of seaweed, there's not one bit of dirt, there's no... Yep, you you get a load of sand into the bag. As you look around, you can see there's make a spot hidden. +10 to your roll. It's slightly difficult because of the distance. Good job, yeah. You don't see anything. Yeah, you got yourself your bag of sand. You go back and you start lobbing this sand on the seaweed. First thing you notice is, after you leave the beach, a couple of people go down and imagine, like, you know, like in golf when you're in the bunker. Yeah, there's a couple of people doing that with the sand, smoothing it out and filling your hole back in and that sort of stuff. You go back out and you start throwing this sand onto the make a sanity check. Yeah, D4, I think, sounds fair. As you throw this sand onto the brown seaweed style thing. It's not actual seaweed. Isaac determined it wasn't actual seaweed. But you throw your sand on it. You stare at it. You stare at it for a couple of seconds, and then you're thinking to yourself, what the fuck am I doing? Until it starts going a light. Who rolled a 1? Was that your sanity? Oh, you passed. Oh no, that's a D4. Yeah, sorry, yeah. Um, you you throw the sand on it. If a few seconds nothing happens, then it starts going green. Then it starts going greener and greener, then light green, and it starts going to like a flesh color. And then you see it slowly sort of turns into. Um, no, it's hard to make out. It looks like you think for a second it could be like a tip of a finger. You know, literally like the last indentation of a finger. As you go to grab it, it spurs two little legs and starts legging it back to the sea. Well, it doesn't do legs, but it starts doing. It tries to do the worm back down towards the sea. You, you put it in your pile of sand in the bag, and you're now carrying around a tip of a finger. At every opportunity, you should get arrested for putting it off there. I don't get it. Every opportunity it has, whenever you open the bag or you haven't locked the bag properly, it tries to escape. It doesn't grow any bigger, it doesn't get any larger, it doesn't do anything else, but it seems to be. It sort of like scurries down into the sand, and if you like open the bag and you look at it, you'll see it try and like actually make a check for me. Fuck knows what this comes under though. I don't like these skills at all. Make a dex check. So it's your dex times 5. Oh my fucking god. it scurries down into the deep of the sand. You're worried for a little bit. You're thinking maybe he's like fucking climbed out the bottom. So you go to put your hand in, or you sort of shake the bag. It sort of worms itself up and then straight out of the bag. It's coming for your face, and you panic. And as you pull your face back, you try and bat it away, and you bat it like miles away. You don't even know where you've hit it to. And so yeah, you've got this. Yeah, the tip of a finger is off on a jolly somewhere. The last you knew, it was trying to get down to the when you left it on the floor. It was trying to get down to the beach or down to the sea. You make a. It's going to be a luck roll. Make a luck roll. Plus 10. Because you crit so badly to start with. Fuck it. You don't find it, but a couple of people start wondering what you're up to, kind of thing. Um, you find yourself. I assume you go off into like a little. No, no one said. Well, they thought she was nuts. Everyone thought she was fine. You go off into a. You go off into like a little quiet place and you put it back on some more. Do another sanity check for me, please, Pierre. You fail. D4, please. Oh yeah, only because he had like a billion in it. Lose another sanity for me, please, Dirk. Dressed as Emily. You see, this time it sort of transforms into something else. It looks like some really dark red, sort of bulbous thing, probably about yay big, size of my eye. I'm doing that, but I'm not even showing the camera. Oh. Um. Is that better? Did I turn it back on? Okay. Yeah, so if you hover over my thingy, there should be like a little camera. You should be able to click on that little camera and it should turn it back on. I could reconnect, but I don't really want to. Pierre, maybe. You get it. Roll a medicine check for me, Pierre. -10. Hello? You two, you reach the, you're outside the mayor's house. What do you want to do? What do you want to do, Tara and Thaddeus? Outside the house. I'll find all the evidence of something. You, you, you go up to the front door. You're just knocking on the door, Thaddeus. You try the handle. The house is locked. Which is weird, because none of the other buildings had locks on them. Well, you shouldn't say number, just say you're good or you're bad or whatever. Alright, roll your locksmith, please. You get him without even breaking anything, so you're already doing better than Tara. You smashed the first lock you ever tried, didn't you? Yeah, nobody can ever get back into the pub. You get in. What? You get in, and you quickly step through inside. You join the game, Tara? You both walk in. It's quite dark inside. All the shutters are shut, like most of the other houses here. You look around. What you have in front of you is one large, what looks like a living room. In the back, there's a small sort of kitchenette area, and you can see there's a couple of doors at the back of the room. Which assumes like a bathroom and maybe a bedroom. In this actual portion of the room, you see there's closets and there's a table with some books on it. There's a couch, and there's candles set up around the area. Yeah. You start lighting the candles. You can see a little bit clearer. Both of you make a spot hidden, please. Make a spot hidden check for me, please. Pierre, did you do a medicine check? Do medicine -10. Oh, fucking. Medicine check -10, Pierre. And then, did you two pass your spot hidden tests? You. Nice roll. You find something, but then Beth hides it from you. You see there's actually a. Under the carpet, which you're standing on, you hear like a hollowing underneath the carpet. Hollowing underneath the carpet. Hollowing underneath the carpet. You move the carpet back, and you can see there's it's not hidden trapdoor, but there's a slightly concealed trapdoor. You go down. You open it. It is empty. You go down into. You go down. It's very narrow. The opening. It's probably only about a meter high, and it's absolutely pitch black down there. You have a look at a flashlight. You don't find any sort of flashlights. Did you pass your test, Pierre? Okay. Did you get? Okay. We'll move this along because you two seem to be struggling. You go down. You're both down underneath the floorboards. And so obviously this has been used before. And as you go with your candles, you see at the end of the room sort of sort of like a reflection, almost like some like metal reflecting the light back at you. You get good acting, well done. You get closer. What you actually find is there's a statue which is very very similar to this looking face. Around it you can see, or around the neck of the statue, and it's worn away where a necklace would normally sit. What? I know they're runes. I told you they were runes to start with. You're not sure what they. Actually, you can make an occult test. It'd be very, very hard. So add plus 30 to your roll. Thaddeus. Did you pass? Occult is Your occult is 65. So you fail. What? Plus 30. Oh yeah. It's You think it roughly translates to chosen slash savior slash something like that, some sort of that sort of translation. You're not sure. You can't unless you find the actual translation book. You don't know. You don't remember seeing anything like that, but in front of you, Beth, you see there's two books on. Remember, all of this is done on your chest. It's not. It's very. You can't even squat in here properly. But there's two like little plinths where there's two books. Um, They look more like tombs rather than books. They're surrounded by candles, and if you look on the floor, the plinths themselves sit on what looks like a diagram or some sort of hard. It's concrete basically, but within the concrete you can see the symbology written in it. It's hard to make out the symbology because the bottom of the plinth circles almost the whole thing, the whole bit of concrete. Do you want to go through the books? You start reading through the first book. One's like a deep, deep blue, and the other one's like a deep, deep red. Which one do you want to go through? They look like they're both leather bound. Which one do you want to go through? You want to go through the blue book first. You start opening up. You do a occult for me, please. Good. Roll sanity. No, roll sanity. Yeah, lose another sanity. You start looking through the book. You're pretty sure this is a book of counterspelling. Okay. This is like you realise this is a sister book to the other book, but this is where all the counterspells are and the anti-charms reside within this book. Yep, looks like it. You taking the book off the plinth? some speed. You can make a... Where is it gone? I fucking hate these skills. Make a luck roll. Yeah, D100. It's right at the top of your page. Oh, 85. Okay. Yeah, you find something which you think is similar in weight. You don't really look at it. You're just, because it's quite dark, you can only sort of see in front of you where the candle is. You're just reaching around and grabbing whatever it is. You grab something that feels fairly solid. Feels about the same weight. You're going to use that. You bring it over and you quickly switch it out. What you've actually grabbed looks like like the upper arm of someone, so like the bicep section of someone's arm. That's how bad it is. It's fairly rotten and quite stinky. You had your face in mud, and as you were walking, you were chucking all the mud up in your face. So it's like the predator can't see you. So both of you need to make another sanity check. But you've got the book in your possession now. What do you want to do? Roll a d4, please. You are not having a good time. Oh, here's another 4. Then tell me what you're at. I'll come back to you two because I need Isaac to partake. Dirk, what are you up to? Yeah, you've seen this thick, sort of reddish, gooish substance, probably the size of just under my fist. It grows and it tries to do the same thing. It's trying to roll itself down to the waterfront. You rolled medicine to see if you could tell what it was. You're not able to recognize it, but it's trying to roll itself down towards the sea. You put it into the bag. It does the same sort of trick. It's trying to, but this one's a bit more sort of glubious, so it tries to get out the seams where it can whenever you open the bag. You're gonna stab the thingy. You. Yep. You stab it. It doesn't try to dodge your stab, but when you do stab it, it's almost like a shrill, a scream comes out of it. Roll a sanity for me, please. The screech is ear piercing. What you also oh god, how do I do this? Right, you two, Bev's. I'll come back to you, Pierre. You two downstairs. You've got this like figurine in front of you. In the distance, you can hear goats bleating. Oh, they've stopped. Oh, it's gone again. The goats have started again. But the statue in front of you, you see the eyes go bright red. And then there's not you don't hear a shriek come out of the statue, but you feel a energy, a pulse reverberating around the statue. You quickly look through the book of counterspells. What specifically are you looking for? You start going through it. It's going to take you about half hour. It's quite a thick tome. No, there's no table content. It's an occult book. So Thaddeus, when as you were looking around, you saw Tara. She started looking through the book. There's two books up there, one red and one blue. She went through the blue book and she declared, "Oh, this is like a book of counterspells." She then started reaching around the cavern for an object. Then she took the book off and put the object up onto the plinth. The object she ripped was a mangled and slightly decaying bicep of a person. That's why you lost your sanity. But yeah, so now you have this book of counterspells. In front of you, this statue is pulsating. You can feel energy and almost a physical sort of pulse running through your body. You can pick it up. Do you want to pick it up? Remember, it's on that concrete. It's on a concrete thing with what looks like a glyph underneath it, but you can't see the whole glyph. You can only see like edges of it because of the what gunshot? Are you actually shooting at the statue? You fire at the statue. It doesn't smash you. It just sort of hits it. Doesn't both of you make a luck roll as this bullet starts ricocheting around the room. Oh, is it? The bullet ricochets around the room, and neither of you are hit. The statue doesn't even look doesn't even seem slightly damaged. Okay, you start making your way back out. What are you doing, Tara? You start making your way back out. Dirk, you stab this thing. It's let out this screech, almost like a animalistic call to its mother, if you think of it that way. It then sort of balls up and sort of seems to sheepishly move away from you, as best as a lump of redness can. It goes as it sand and burrows down to the bottom. You start shanking the bag again. You hear this screech. You don't have to roll again, but you two downstairs, you feel the pulses intensifying. You can both make a check for me, please. We're gonna go with fucking, they're all fucking shit, aren't they? Parapsychology, if it's there. Is it there? Not psychology. God, they're all fucking terrible skills, aren't they? Alright, well, fuck it. Use your education. Like a sense of something happening. We're gonna have to go, yeah, use your int or your education. Actually, use your know or your idea. Well, actually, they're all the same. They're all the same roll, but yeah. You pass. You realise this isn't a. Did you pass, Tara? You realise as you're moving away, this isn't a omnidirectional pulse. This is actually a directed pulse, and the pulse leads right through you and out the building in quite a narrow sort of arc. If you see what I mean. Do you see what I mean? Is that yes? Yeah. Not you're actually you realise if you move left or right, you're nothing to do with the pulse, but the pulse is just emanating. You happen to be in the path. So from where the statue is, yeah, you move out the path. You can't get out of the room then, but because you've got to go up those stupid little steps.
It's doing a you feel it doing a straight line from the statue to the steps and then carries on. As you start crawling up the steps, you can see there's a what looks like like a little medallion. It's like a six-sided, think of like a starfish medallion on the hooks on the underneath as you're going back up the steps. You can actually see there's hooks for 6 medallions, but 3 of them are missing. No, none of them look like this. They just look like a five-starred medallion. Six. Did I say 5 or 6? 6-starred. No, Pangram's got 5, hasn't he? Yeah. Okay, you take one, and you start. Where are you running off to? So, so Tara can't get out. No, she's behind you. Okay, you both make it back upside. We're back to you, Dirk. What are you up to, Dirk? Yep, you go to the library. All right, you dressed as Dirk. You go to the library. You walk in, and the stairs are absolutely pristine clean again. And you make your way in, and inside you can see it's not a library per se as you'd think a library would be with lots of books. And there's a counter with it's more like a record keeping um, area. Do you know what I mean? So it keeps records. You assume for like shipping and stuff like that. Yeah, like an archive. Yeah, an archive building. In front of you, as you walk in, there's a desk, and there's nobody in it, and the desk is about 5 meters in front of you. And then there's a couple of well-kept benches, and then past the desk, you can see there's rows of um, like archiving like the old school small drawers you pull out with like little that sort of, yeah, like little folders, that sort of stuff, and that's behind it. But there's nobody in here at the moment that you can see. You going to go and have a look? Make a library use check. Apparently, library use is a big thing in here. It's also you do if you were to go and do like just say I'm off to go and do research. You do library use. You will have plus 20. Well, minus 20 to the roll. You look at it, it seems like a quite straightforward, easy archiving system. Actually, what you find is you start off on the top. There's 3 rows, yeah, one against the left wall, one in the middle, and one on the far right. You start on the far left, and it's got a series of names, date of birth, and shipping stuff. And then you go down, and then almost within, yeah. You look at all the date of births there. So you go down, you look, there is none within the last 20 years. And in fact, even though there's probably about 100 meters, 150 meters worth of cabinet space, there's probably only about 1 meter of it is used with actual records. And you look at it, and the last entry is set at 1818. It looks so. If Have you got any astrology? Okay, roll astrology. Okay. Yeah, 1818. Yeah, it looked like a good year. That's not what you're rolling for, but yeah. It's listed as residencies like death, births, and that sort of thing. Yeah, sorry, so it's 1818 death birth records. Ah, sorry, you mean the specific name? Yeah, the last specific. There is a name. The name is um, Pierre Richmond. And then there's other births. When you look at the birth rate is really dramatically reduces. If roll your history. I mean, over that time, roll your history. Fuck. You can have plus minus 10 to it, but I don't think it helps you. 80, yeah, they come out and they tell you exactly what's going on, Pierre. No, so yeah, it's just there's a random one birth and if no deaths. Where are you going? You're going to the general store. The first thing that takes you aback by it is incredibly well stocked. Even it's got some absolute modern day gear. When I say modern day, I don't mean like 2019. I mean 1920s modern day sort of stuff. Like there's a wireless there. There's um, radiogram. I don't fucking know what else it came out. Yeah, um, and everything else is it's absolutely superbly well stocked. But when you go over to the as you're walking around, I mean, it's like fresh food. There's canned food. There's quite exotic sort of foods like bananas, that sort of stuff. Isaac has started typing something monstrous there. But on the counter, you don't see there's no cash register or anything like that. It's just a book. It's leather bound. Oh, and there's a cashier behind it. Yeah. How? Oh, hello. How are you? Yes. Oh, he's probably out on his horse. Yes, he has to. He's got the cart, the horse and cart. Yes. Oh, he won't be back for some time. No, we have to. He has to go out and get new bedding for one of the new houses. Oh, he's having to go and get things. Make a roll. You'll have plus 30 to this test. Yeah, plus 30 because this is fairly difficult. Fuck it out. You two. Yeah, they were talking. You transform into Pierre Richmond. What do you want to do? Yeah, you are. You are him. The only thing you don't know is history, but yeah. 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 Okay. Um. No one approaches you. Everybody sort of stays. Are you wearing long or short sleeves? No one approaches you, and everyone actually gives you. When you saw him, he had. You can you can all make a spot hidden test. No, not spot hidden. I don't want to fucking keep rolling spot hidden. Yeah, fine. Spot hidden. Everybody is wearing long sleeves today. However, for the rest of the time, people had been wearing short sleeve, long sleeves, and being indifferent. But now everybody's got long sleeves on. So you've got long sleeves on. Yeah, nobody bothers you. Yeah, that was the city hall thing. Yep, you go in. Nobody's in there. You somebody one of the ladies approaches you and like, shouldn't you already be down there? You know how mistress gets angry. It's got to be time soon, hasn't it? It's going to take you a while to get across on the boat as well, isn't it? Oh, he looks down away from you, almost in terror. But I'm not allowed over there. I you could arrive in here whenever you want, really. If you can, yeah, you can arrive now if you want, or you can see. Actually, fuck, you'll see it's Pierre Richmond, but you then realise it's actually Dirk dressed as Pierre Richmond, carrying loads of bed sheets he's stolen from your house by the looks of it. He goes, I can't go across the water. It's forbidden for me. Yeah. Uh, make a astronomy check. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, both of you make. Oh yeah, astronomy is going to be the best one. Or navigate. Yeah. You can use navigate if you wish as well. Okay. Good job, team. You, it's not like a visual thing. You can feel it through your body. You know it's roughly going down towards the docks, down that way. Um, he goes, I can't go across the water. You can see them outside the door. Okay, okay. I thought you were doing it to them. He looks at you like he almost sort of cowers away from you in fear. He goes, okay, and he sort of like swans off. He recoils in fear and panic. No, I can't take them. It can't be me. Make make a fast talk, Pierre. Did you pass? He go, he gets on his face. You see a transformation, like a realization, come across his face. He's looking up. He's sort of first he's away back. Oh, please don't hurt me, please. And then you see him stop, take a deep breath in, and he looks at you. And it doesn't look like he's looking at you. It looks like he's looking through you now. He goes, you're not Richmond. So you two looking up at this, there's these two guys who you're guessing probably about 180 between them. They break into a fight. Pierre, make a roll to hit. You'll get -10 to your roll. You two, you're looking up these steps, pristine clean steps. There's two big oak doors, which are one door slightly pushed open, and you can see into this the archive room where Pierre's twatting this guy. You punch him, and I think you actually crit him. So roll your damage. It's 1d3 plus your 1d4. Yeah, you might kill him. 4. I'll double it because I think that's what you do for crit. You two, you got Thaddeus start sprinting up the steps. What are you doing, Tara? You give zero fucks about this fight kicking off, and you make your way. You make your way down to the docks. Isaac, you get in, and I assume you're trying to close the door. Okay. You close the door. Make a fuck me. Something to do with buildings roll. I don't think there is architect. I've been looking for that for ages. Dirk, you're hunched over doing your Pierre impression. And you're like, arr, and then you straighten up, shoulders back, and you just throw this and like straight punch straight to the nose. You twat him in the nose. He drops to his knees. He starts screaming, "Ah, you punched me! You fucking punched me!" Oh, the rest of your so Thaddeus, you go and close the door. You turn around. You can see that Dirk is absolutely pummeling into him. Do you want to join in with that, or do you want to like bolt the door? Make a choice now. Go. Okay. You need to make a 2 roll hit, Pierre. You'll get a -10 to your roll because Isaac's not helping you. So the guy's able to fight back. -10 makes it easier for you to hit. You've got the high ground. You're trying to rain these blows down, but you thought he was probably more out of it than he actually is, and you're trying to put too much power in and not enough finesse. You just shoot past him as he comes up and tries to punch you. He tries to punch you back in the face. $19. Have you got dodge? You can try and dodge. He punches you for 1. He just skims off your chest. He's going for the uppercut, but his arms are too small, so he couldn't reach. Your turns. What do you want to do, Mr. Thaddeus and Mr. Dirk? Are you joining in the fight? Yeah. just gonna shoot him. Fuck it. Isaac kills him. Bang! You can both make a sanity check then. Both make a sanity check. If you pass, you don't lose any. But yeah, this he's just gone up behind him, execution style, and just blown his face off. The guts all over the floor, all over your legs, Pierre. You, yeah, you hear a gunshot go off. What do you want to do? Let's go, Gary. You dive out the you dive out the window, though all the windows have been boarded. Looking back at now, looking around the room, you actually see this isn't a um, village hall at all. This is basically a fortress. All the doors have got castle style big drops of 3x6 wood, all solid oak, white oak. You see mobile latchings of that. The windows are all lashed shut again. They're all solid oak with reinforcements. What do you want to do? Obviously, what you can do is you can open it and jump out yourself. What do you want to do? You say there is candles here. With your door, there's only two windows, and there's also, if you can get to the Dirk saw that in the tower it wasn't locked. It was like those slated grates, so you could escape from there as well. That's much more hardcore, but yeah. You start setting fire to it, but it's oak, so it's going to take time to burn. Okay, yeah, you set fire to the sheets and they start burning up. Bev's gone mad. VVVE, Bev, VVVE. That's what you've typed. Oh yeah, sorry, that's a personal chat. Sorry, I don't know how to reply to personal chat. Ah well, fuck it. Yeah. You set fire. You walk out. You look to your left, and you see Tara walking down the down towards the beach, down towards the docks. To your right, you can see a gathering of people. No, they don't have guns. No, they haven't got anything like that. They just seem to be gathering. You start making your way down to the docks. It's the what you've noticed is that the fog's really sort of drawn in. Your vision's getting shorter. You probably see about 5 to 10 meters now. The rain sort of picked up. You look above head, and you can see there's like a nothing. Clouds. What do you want to do? Go team, quick. Well, you get to the docks. There's those boats. You can see there's a couple of rowing boats. There's those petrol powered modern boats. There's like a sailing boat. Okay, you both get into the petrol powered boat, and then you remember Thaddeus telling you they had no petrol aboard any of these ships because he assumes it's a pollutant for the water. So you're both sitting in this non-powered boat at the moment. What do you want to do, Tara? No boats are preparing to leave. You can. No, you can make a very, very hard spot hidden check though. So plus 30 to your roll. Did you pass? Or you can just get in the sailing boat or the rowing boat. What do you get? No, and that's all you see. What do you want to do, team? Where are you going? Whereabouts? As you're making your way back up. Okay, as you start making your way up the path, you can see that crowd of people have gone into the um, library and now making their way out and coming back down the docks. There's petrol with no petrol in it, but there's a sailing boat and a rowing boat. Okay, where are you rowing to? What are the other two doing? You see Tara get in one of the rowing boats and get herself ready to go out to sea. Pierre, at the corner of your eye, you see your little blob friend make it to the ocean. Yep. um, Make another sanity check. So you're at the docks at the moment. There's no buildings. You'd have to go away from the shoreline back up into the village. You, you start making your way up there. The crowd of people, as you make a stealth roll. Isaac, what you doing? Okay. Yeah, you don't stealth nothing, Pierre. They see you, point at you, and start running for you. Beth, what you doing? Where you running to? The lighthouse? You start rowing your way to the lighthouse along the length of the pier, basically. Okay. Pierre and Isaac? Oh, they're both typing. Where you running? Okay, you have a choice where to run. You can run to the right, which will take you to the and if you remember, you will remember this bit, but I told you all this whole village was in like sort of a valley. Either side of it you got steep mountains. Do you remember? You can right if you're running away from the dock. So you can run to the right, will take you to the foundry. You run to the left, will take you to the beach. Forward will take you up the hill, or behind you can run along the docks and jump in Beth's little boat. What do you want to do? All right, you jump. Make a dex check. Dex times 5. Oh, in my part. No, it's Dex. Dex times 5. Fuck yeah, now. You see this fucking ancient, decrepit, hunched over monstrosity running down the pier, leaping like a fucking salmon and landing onto the rowing boat. He lands seated, ready to fucking go. Dirk, what do you want to do? You run down to the beach. What are you doing at the beach? Okay, yep, you run off a distance. Make another stealth roll, you'll get plus minus 20 to your roll. The two of you on the boat, the two of the two of you on the boat, you start rowing out. You can all make a spot hidden test. Okay, by the lighthouse, you can see the lighthouse isn't on, but you're outside. You can see there's a sort of a dinghy tied up with candles, sort of on the actual dinghy itself. Sink the dinghy. What do you want to do? You go to the lighthouse. On the lighthouse, you can see there is sand all over the place, and there's like a pebble path that goes up to it. You walk up to the lighthouse, and as you open the big doors, big metal doors, you can see to your left well, actually on the front of the door, you can see this symbol, but just much bigger. And as you step in, you look to your left, and on one of the walls, you see there's that symbol, but indentated into the wall. The starfish, the one I keep highlighting. And you can hear it. Sorry, it's sort of like indentated, engraved into the wall. You can make a roll. It'll be very hard. Did you get it? No. Yes, the flesh book. No, but you think you've seen. She had. I was saying she had shellfishes and stuff like that. You sure you've seen this shellfish in her bag? Well, Pierre stabbed it up and put some fucking goo in it. Yeah. What do you two want to do? Sorry? Okay. Make a listen check, and then Isaac, you can make a ideas check. Only because I'm trying to keep the story moving. Listen and ideas. Pierre, you managed to lose them. What do you want to do? You think they're probably just, last you saw them, they were just chasing you down where you'd been. So they went down the beach and then started running along the beach. Make a stealth check. You'll get minus 30 because it's very foggy, loud. Or he might not. He might not be from the. Did you pass, Pierre? I'll get your character here. No. You don't know how stealthy you are. You don't know how well they've done to spot you, but you get yourself back into town. What are you looking for? You start burning the Oh, the nice houses. Yeah, you start setting fire to them. Strangely, they all take up very quickly. The archive place you had, you thought, I was telling you solid oak, so on and so forth, stone. That is absolutely ablaze. What's also weird is it's not burning away any of the fog. The fog is still as dense near it as it would be away from it. You start setting fire to these other houses, and they take up very, very, very quickly. You can start now hearing the villagers running back towards. They're running like they sort of seem to be staying together. Well, they're not running actually. You hear them more shuffling more than anything now. So he's quite far away from the thing. He's probably about half a day's travel. Yeah, they didn't tell you that. You can start hearing. There's a few people near you. You can make a stealth test if you want. At the -30 again. You see, there's a few of them walking around, and they've all got this sort of they've all got this sort of. What are you all laughing at my people? He's got this sort of expression on his face. Actually, they all have. Yep, the eyes are like that. And they don't seem to be acting as normal. They seem to be driven by something to go and do something. If they walk, yeah, they walk over the sand. Yep. Where are you hiding? Or what do you want to do after you've hidden? Yeah. All the stone buildings you've put alight. No, there's nothing like that. Just the low breathing of these people. Okay. Beth, you can hear mumblings, like a mumble from. You're not sure. It's from inside the tower, but obviously somewhere you can't see. It's not from above you. It sounds from below, but there's no. You can't see any real steps going below. You look in it. It's a handwritten book, and you see that the book. There's a spell. It's listed as. It's written in English. It says spell of anti casting. The handwriting is a little bit smudged. It's a couple of water vapors have got on it. But it's book of it's either spell of anti casting or reversal or something along those lines. You go up the tower. It's a not a great view. There's not much. And what you actually notice, this lighthouse isn't a lighthouse. There's actually nothing at the top of the lighthouse. There's a if you look at the middle bit, which is circular, there's a big emblem, which looks like the second layer of this, the second letter, the second rune. Don't know. You lot never found out. Oh, it was like the whole word meant like savior or the one or something along those lines. Right. Make an ideas check. Did you pass? It's proportionate to your int. Yeah, you've passed. You think that this might be a key. No, you've all got one. Well, you and Isaac have got one. You think this might be a key? You couldn't see a door, but as you walked in, there was that symbol indentated into the wall to your left as you walked in. Okay, you walk back down and you put it in. The door slowly creaks away, and you get this rush of sea air come up into your nostrils. Thaddeus, not Thaddeus. Dirk, what do you want to do? I think you've done, basically, according to my notes, you've pretty much done everything that needed to be done over there. There won't be. You want to be on the other side now. You want to be with the lighthouse, really. No, she's not there. What you're able to see is there's like a when you're looking through one of like the stone buildings, you see there's uh, like a fancy garment, like a ritual robes, if you like. You're wearing the ritual robes. And where do you want to go? You go down to the docks. You see the people are now lined up along the shore, all facing out towards the lighthouse with this sort of with this look on their face. Yeah, vacant stare. You can hear them all mumbling something under their breath. You can't tell what it is, but it sounds ritual-like. You could try making a cult roll if you want. You don't have to. Yeah, you don't know what they're singing, but it's very ritualistic, harmonious sort of singing. Yeah. They don't clap or anything. They just keep staring vacantly up into the distance. You get up into the lighthouse and you can see the door is open with there's Tara and Thaddeus just about to make your way down. So you're all back together. Oh well, Beth's just literally walked down the steps, so it's you, Pierre, to lead the scene. I think he's dealing with Tara. I wonder if we should stop for the night. Basically, yeah, kind of. Okay. What do you want to do? Assume go down the steps, or do you want to go? There's not much to the lighthouse. They'll Tara's. Sorry. There's one letter. The second letter is the only thing upstairs. Um, the first letter you haven't seen it, but Isaac thinks the whole word means something on the line savior or the ones or something on those lines. And then individually each rune would mean something, but you need to do like a occult. You start making your way down the yeah. Have you got like a book of quotes? You yeah, but you can't hear what Pierre's saying. You start making your way down the stairs. They are all lined with it's rough cut into the stone, and every so often there'd be like a cutting out where a candle is just lit, and they're all lit as you go down. There's this sort of natural smell rising up from the bottom of the staircase. The staircase spirals down quite sharp, so the steps are quite wet and damp. So each step's a bit iffy. As you start making your way down, you can make a listen check. All you can hear is your own heart beating in your chest. Um, You're at the lead because Isaac's not here and Beth's standing behind me. And the staircase is only wide enough for one. Along the length of it, you can see there's multiple. Make a notice check, spot hidden. You can. It's 10, so it'd be. I'll call it a crit. What's your actual skill? Yeah, we'll call it crit. You can see there's scratch marks, but they're at sort of shoulder height, maybe a little bit higher than shoulder height. Yeah, in the stone walls. Yes, more like, but there's multiple different styles, and as you've crit, you look, and you can see there's embedded fingernails in some of the scratchings, and they look like human. He looks at you, but doesn't look pleased. So, just to catch you up, Isaac, Beth found a secret passage leading downstairs using one of the stars to do the door, to open a secret door. She's just walked out the house. So I don't know where she's going. But you start going downstairs, and you can. It's a very narrow corridor. Pierre then saw there's scratch marks, multiple different styles of scratch marks along the wall above shoulder height, almost like if somebody was carried on their shoulder. Pierre, dejected. From the bottom where he failed his listen roll, so you can't hear that. So make a listen roll for me, please. Pierre failed. Oh, Jesus Christ. I know Bev's got monstrously good listening. So, you carry on down, and it's quite narrow. Both of you make a sanity check. Yep, on that line. Both pass? Lose 2 sanity, Pierre. The candles are inset in the walls. Sorry, Beth was just coming back in. You carry on making your way down. I'm going to pretend Beth passed her hearing test. Down at the bottom of you can start hearing like a very similar song, Pierre, to what you were hearing outside with all those people lined up. You get to the bottom of the steps, it sort of flattens out, and in the distance you can see there's an archway which leads into what you assume is like a cavern or a room. Or make a stealth check to. Oh, you'll pass. You'll crit. You'll you'll sneak up to it, and as you look in, you see it actually leads into a cavern. Around it, you can see there's well, five now. Should be three people in dark ceremonial clothes, chanting. That just might be bad cutting on my behalf. That's Isaac's hand, yeah. Isaac leans forward a little bit, but in the middle you can see there's three, not six, people chanting. Um, and in the middle of the circle there's like a whirlpool. Um, no, there's no copper down there, but there's a whirlpool. And in the whirlpool you can see there's. This is dark, Beth, and you're laughing away. You can. I'm gonna have to mute her. In the whirlpool, you can see Emily's naked body floating, and turning, and spinning with the whirlpool. What do you want to do, team? It's hard to tell from here. Give me a bit of description. Just shouting. What are you doing? Okay, let's start with Beth. Beth, please make an occult check for me to be able to start casting. All of you make a sanity roll for me, though, please. Okay. You all lose one sanity. Okay, Beth, roll a d3, so d6 and a half here. What do you say, Pierre? 10% is when you reached your first threshold. Okay, I think Beth's probably reached 10% as well. So you'll both get minor insanities. Pierre, I think I'll just give you yours. You'll have a fear of water, and Beth, you'll have a fear of the candles near you. Candles, light, well, light, darkness, basically. Sorry. Yeah, temporary insanity. Okay. Did you pass? Did you pass your occult, Tara? Yeah. You start chanting. As soon as you let your words fly out, they all snap their heads to look at you. There's a look of slight. You can make a psychology roll. Right. What are you doing, Thaddeus? Okay. Make an attack roll. The distance is medium distance, so it's a +10 to your roll. And what are you doing, Dirk? Yeah. Okay. And then what did you get? Yeah. Well, what are you doing? Okay. That makes literally no sense for this portion, but okay. They snap. They don't seem to take any notice of you, but they are looking intently at Tara. Did you pass? Did you crit? Your roll. You just because all you did was type passed. I assume you passed. Yeah. You can see there's a look of panic on their face, and as they all start running, Isaac lets off another fucking gunshot. Roll your damage. It's gonna take 1d. It's 1d6. I'm sure it's 1d6. So roll 1d6, Isaac. Pierre punches harder than you. Yeah, you hit one for 3 damage. Yeah, I'm sure it's 1d6. So they all start running. You see that one sort of stumbling down to his knees. One of them, the main lead one, carries on chanting. What gun you got, sorry, Eyes? The real Richmond is not there. What are you two doing? So one of them obviously looks like a short, oldish woman running towards you. The other one looks pretty well built old guy, and then the chanting one, the one furthest away from you, carries on chanting. His arms are raised, and you can see there's sort of scarring on his left forearm. Isaac shot. Well, we're going to say the fairly thick guy for an old man. You go wading in with this like 90-year-old woman. Make a attack roll. Isaac, you shooting again? Make a shot roll. Beth, what do you want to do? And it's got okay. So that's again a difficult check. So plus 10 to your roll. Did you hit Pierre? No, it looks like a miss. You put stats in it. Oh yeah, you're 75. Yeah. Did you hit Isaac? Alright, you fire the round off, doesn't hit anything. Roll your damage, Pierre. 1d3 plus 1d4. Beth, make a concentration check. They're all beelining for Beth. Just your occult check. Plus 10. Doesn't matter. 4 lighter on a pistol. Good one, Isaac. You can feel there's a thickness in the air that's almost oppressing your breathing. But as you carry on, it gets lighter, and almost like you're lifting a heavy weight on your chest. Pierre, you say your line. She just spits in your face. Her her fake teeth sort of like dribble out onto the floor as you smash them out. Thaddeus, where you missed anything and didn't do your part, the old guy lays into Beth and goes to rolls to punch her. Oh my fucking god! Did he literally roll a fucking 100? Did I do that right? No, something's wrong here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, this guy's fucking shit. No. Yeah, that's what I did. Oh, yeah. D100 plus. Oh, no, sorry. Minus 10. He hits. He punches. He just comes over to you and absolutely cracks you in your chest. Then the woman starts starts to trying to smash you up. Yeah. She's reading 7. This guy's, oh my god, 7 damage. 7 damage. 7 damage to Tara. He absolutely went to town on you. He's like, smash! He just punched you straight in the tit. You're nearly dead, aren't you? Oh. The old woman punches you. As she misses, she turns to you and she says, "Now is the winter of our discontent." Your goes. The guy keeps on chanting badly. He's very distracted by everything that seems to be going on, even though he's like a professional fucking spellcaster. Go team, what do you want to do? Start with you, Beth. You got this woman you got this guy, quite big for an old guy. He's all up in your grill, trying to just. He's trying to smash you. We'll start with Thaddeus. What do you want to do, Thaddeus? The chanting dude. Okay, roll. Roll, Isaac. Plus 10 to your roll, so 69. Do you hit? Okay. Another gunshot rings off and does fuck all. What do you want to do, Dirk? You're scrapping with this old bird, but you can see that your caster is going absolutely pummeled. You can see she's got. Yeah. Okay, roll to hit the guy in the back of the head. You'll get minus 20 to your roll because you're on the way to hit. Bethany, make an occult check for me, please. A plus 20 because you're getting punched up. And he's trying to put his hand down your throat as well and that sort of stuff. Pierre, did you hit? And you damaged? Oh, you fucking hell, you crit him in the back of the head. He is actually... He drops to one knee in absolute agony. He's got a gunshot wound to his chest, and you've just cracked him at the back of... You cracked him in the back of the ear, and that little bit between the ear and the skull. And you can see he's got blood dribbling down the top of his head. The old woman jumps on your back, Pierre, and tries to scratch your eyes out. Oh my god, she does. She jumps on your back, but she can't get her legs around you to grip you, so she's having to rest her arms over your chest and over sort of your neck. She's not choking you, she's just using you as like a pillar to hang. Yeah, she's kind of like hugging you from behind. You can feel her. You can feel her like saggy breast pressing against you. You get this boner in the back of the guy's head who's kneeling in front of you. The guy is going to try and punch. He's going to try and claw at your throat, Beth, through your mouth. But because Dirk is actually trying to help you, so I'm trying to knock him off balance and actually engaging with him. It's a little bit harder for him. Oh, I did well rolling there, didn't I? Oh, I said did the script wrong. It doesn't matter. He misses. He's just sort of scratching at your beard and stuff. He's scratching at the top of your clothes and sort of ripping them down and ripping them because he can't get to your throat. Because no one's bothered the fucking caster guy. He carries on casting that oppression is dropping right down onto your chest and almost in your lungs now, like something's trying to forcefully close your windpipe up. Tara, what do you want to do, team? Yep. Oh no. So you have that plus. Sorry. Oh no, you have no minus. Yeah, you have -10 against the dude because he's got his back to you. You miss. You go to punch him, but this extra weight of the woman on your back, hugging you, throwing you. You've got like little T-Rex hands at the moment, where she's got you wrapped around. So you're trying to hit him with T-Rex hands. All you're doing is tapping him on the back of the head. Roll your damage, Isaac. It's a D8. Oh, you missed. Good job, Isaac. Fucking good thing we brought you to this fight, isn't it? It's all down to you. You feel this is it, Beth. You can feel it. It's right down in your lungs. It's now or never. Make a roll. You feel the energies in the room build up to a point. You manage to stave it off for one more turn. You look into the pool. You can see that there's a... Because you're looking that way. Actually, Isaac, you can see this. You can see that... you can see that Emily is slowly starting to like phase, not phase, but shimmer in and out. And she's like shimmering from two different shapes, it looks like. Oh, it's my peeps going. You fucking missed everything. The guy on Beth, fuck me, he's failed. As he's trying to scratch at you, Beth, he managed to rip your top off. This is what I'm doing now. You're taking a step back. As you take a step back, he loses, because he's leaning on you fully. He just falls flat, his head flat to the floor. Isaac's running. Okay. And then the chick on your back, Pierre. She's on form. Yeah, she starts scratching at your eyes, scratching at your. He's going to, don't worry. She scratches away at you, ripping at your mouth, your lips for 5 damage. Yeah, well, they might not be naturally strong. So yeah, so she's ripping your eyelids and your mouth, your lips and your tongue. Oh, and the caster's... Have I rolled for the caster? Okay, maybe. Yeah. Should make that a script for rolling. He's crit. You can feel it's getting so bad now, Beth. You're struggling to actually speak, to project the voices. You also feel your chest is getting really tight with the air escaping your lungs. Go team. Oh, make a dex check. Are you running or walking carefully? Make a dex check for me. You'll have -10 to your roll. Your dex times 5 is your dex check. You take 4 paces and fall over. In a, like the stones is all wet and slimy. You slide. You go to try and steady yourself. How badly did you fail? Okay, not too bad. You managed to keep hold of your gun. Make a luck check. Tara, what? No, sorry, Dirk. What do you want to do? You got fucking 5. Yeah, he's already on the ground. I'm gonna give you a plus D6 base damage extra. Well, that's a D100. That's another D100. Everyone's just rolling fucking millions of dollars. Yeah, you punch him in the back of the head. So as he's already face down, no need you punch him back in the head, but as his head hits the hard granite floor, it smashes his head twice. You can see his head crack open and the blood just dribbling everywhere. Tara, make a roll, please. You'll be at +10 for your occult. Well, you're chanting off against each other. 10. If he's not casting, you can counterspell it, but you're just at the moment just countering what he's casting. Because Isaac, what he was trying to do is not succeed. Hey? Did you pass? You extended for another turn, luckily. Team, what do you want to do? Oh, it's my old woman. She's starting to lose grip on you, Pierre, now that you've actually got all this momentum. Thaddeus, what do you want to do? Okay, you get to M. You grabbing out the water? Roll a sanity, please. And Beth, make a roll. Roll a. I think you're on D6s. Might be D10s. You're making a occult roll, or do you want to try and shoot the guy, or do you want to do anything different, or do you want to carry on this counter spell to buy people more time? Oh, sorry, eyes. Roll, 1d10. Lose 7 sanity. You pull her out. Isaac, what you see underneath the water, lurking just below the water, is a mirror reflection of yourself. You see that just below the water line. Almost, it's like if it's pressing against the water. The water, it can't break the water surface. You can make a Cthulhu Mythos roll. Oh, alright. You can try and make an occult roll at +40. What do you want to do, team? Hey? Oh, yeah. Yeah. What are you rolling for? You've passed. Fucking duck. You recognise these from some books called, and you think they're called the deep ones. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. Ah! Don't look at it. Okay, your goes. What do you want to do? Make it count, eyes, because Beth's going to go to bed soon. You go to reach in. Roll a d6. Pierre, what do you want to do? Take 4 damage. As you put your hands in to grab her, the whirling whirlpool just rips the skin off your hands. No. You can try again. Make a check. Make a roll. Yeah, to shoot. Pierre, you missed, did you? You can't get her. She's like a little fucking spider on your back. You can't actually reach it. You'll have -20. You're about 2 yards from him, eyes. At -20. Fucking hell. Okay, Beth, it's all on you. Make it. Okay, you get your bow and arrow out. You line it up. Make a check. It's minus 10 to this, plus 10 to the roll. Is that a hit? You hit him. Nice one, Eyes. Fucking bow and arrow out, did you? You hit him, square in the chest, piercing one of his lungs. You can hear him trying to carry on talking, but blood's just bubbling out of his mouth. He falls to the floor. The other woman, which is on top of Pierre, starts running back over. And I assume you put them both out of their misery. You're now left in front. In front of you is what you can see. You two go over to the whirlpool now. You both make a sanity roll. Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, you don't go over to the whirlpool, but you save yourself some sanity points there. Bethany, roll less sanity, because are you going over to the whirlpool? I assume you need to save Emily. You can chant it, you've learned it well enough. You chant it. The question is, do you want to carry on chanting it? You can see there's a transformation in her happening as you're chanting. You realise as the guy is dying in front of you, you hear him say, "Excellent, it's all going to plan. You can't stop fate. You can't change your destiny." What do you want to do? Oh, don't say I'm missing a page. Bethany? Do you want to carry on casting this spell? Do you want to carry on this? Do you want to carry on chanting the spell you're casting? He's got a book as well. You can chant something out of him, or just leave, I guess. What do you want to do? He's got a tomb. He's got a tomb he was reading from as well. It's the red copy of the book. Team, help her. Talk about it. He's lying dead on the floor. That was his last breath. He said that line. Yeah, Isaac misses. If you remember, you weren't too sure because you didn't actually pass your test. Yeah, they can be. Okay, as you nudge Emily, the stick gets pulled in. Roll a dex roll. Isaac ends up in the whirlpool. Roll another d6. You're reading what he's chanting or what you would... Okay, make a occult check. The problem is your occult person's jumped into the whirlpool. Yeah, 4 damage. Because... I don't know. First one, yeah. You read it... oh, you can roll Cthulhu Mythos if you want as well. As a bonus roll. Alright, we'll get rolling. No, you fail. You read it. It doesn't read as a summoning spell. It reads more like a preparation spell. Apart from that, you can't really tell any more than that. Could work. It's about making a decision. What do you want to do, team? Isaac takes more damage. As now there's sand flying around in this fucking whirlpool. You stop chanting. What actually happens is you see, after a little period of time, you resolve yourself not to chant. You see Emily part transform. You see like part of her skin turning into to look like one of the deep ones, and part of her staying as Emily. She looks like some monstrous disfiguration of both. She's screaming in agony. As the whirlpool stops, Isaac, you drag yourself up. The bottom of the sea water feels almost solid. The deep one's still trying to pound against it to get up to you. Emily's in absolute agony. She is screaming. All roll sanity. You can see parts of her body have transformed, and parts that haven't. There's part of her organs hanging out. You can see there's... No, Isaac wasn't in there long enough, sadly. If you fail, if you fail, roll a d6. If you've passed, lose 2 sanity. What are you doing? She's begging. This hurts so much. Please help me, please. Beneath it, you can see the one of the deep ones smashing against the glass harder and harder, trying to get up to Emily. What? Oh, blow her brains out. You killing her? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing as a team? Isaac shoots her. Fucking hell, Isaac's kill count's monstrous. Isaac kills her. Roll sanity, please, Isaac, for murdering your loved one. Wow, this is his chance, isn't it? Roll d6. As you kill her, you see the separation between the old one and her start to fade. And you can see his hand, where it used to be quite a thick barrier, his hand slowly protruding up. What do you want to do? Where you've killed her, obviously now, Beth, you can feel the spell, the preparation spell, sort of fading, and the barrier between the old one and her in this whirlpool is slowly, looks like it's failing. You can see the old one's hand getting closer and closer to Emily as it breaks through the barrier and actually grabs hold of her shoulders. What do you want to do? Yeah, she's got no head. Do you want to stay or go or what? You all going with him? Well, that's not bad actually. That was sort of fits. You start legging it. Let me wrap the story up for you there. As you start running, you see the creature totally come out the whirlpool. You can't tell if it's anger or sadness. He goes down to his... As you're running away, you look over your shoulders, panicky. He goes down to his knee and sort of cradles Emily, almost in a loving embrace, you think. And then after a second or two, you hear it bellow out a screech of a cry. You get up to your boat, and all around you can see there's sea whirlwinds, sea tornadoes, I don't know what they're called, starting to appear. The water's starting to get really choppy. Make a boating check. Yeah, I've got a funny feeling is sailing. If not, it'd have to be navigation or craft. And these skills are terrible. Whoever's got the best skill. Whoever's got the best. Actually, you can all make the check. Beth, what'd you get? Did anybody pass? Your boat capsizes. The waters are rough. All make a swim test. This could be the end of everyone. You make it to the coast. Those people have lost their. They're not looking gormless. They're running around, screaming, panicking. They all seem to be aging quite a lot now. They seem to be aging. The other two, you can make another check. Swim check. Oh, you'll get out. You'll start legging it away. The only way out of this valley is the way you came. You start running up. You get up to the. You go up the path, and you see at the top, Pierre has just returned with his horse and carriage. Isaac, you take no time thinking about it. You just blow his face off and steal his horse and cart. And you, as you go away, and as you look behind you, you can see the town being swallowed up by the sea, and getting dragged away into the ocean. And as soon as as soon as you're away from the town, it's a perfectly sunny day everywhere. And that's the end of the adventure. You can for mass murder. You can log off, Beth, and I'll wrap it up with the boys. If you want to sleep. You got any questions on the story? Pierre missed the beginning half, but what do you think was happening? So the hovel was a secondary clue set you could get. What it was one of the people who they tried. So what they were doing is, Pierre, what you found out was that every like 100 years or something, there's this special equinox / alignment of the planets that happen, and then they sacrifice somebody. They don't actually sacrifice him; they offer him up as a new old one. They convert into an old one, and then go. But the problem is the spell has to be done by non-members of the cult, willing members of the cult. So it's all like an elaborate plan to try and get you lot to cast a spell. Yeah, and what the deep ones were giving them was like if you went to the fisheries, what you'd actually see is the fish are jumping out of the water into the fishery mechanism to get turned into fish meat actually. So that's how the old ones are helping. And also what the old ones were doing was killing all the other villagers, which I think Isaac found out at some point, didn't you? The stuff you'd found, Pierre, which I was a little bit worried, it was like a sub-story, but I didn't incorporate much of it because we were running out of time, which was the old ones actually defeated sorry, these are the deep ones. They defeated like a not Cthulhian type creature, but like a demigod creature, so next level above the deep ones. But what they were able to, they couldn't kill him off, so what they did was they chopped him up into thousands and hundreds of pieces and scattered him across the land. So what you were actually doing was you were slowly putting him back together. So you found his finger, you found the other part was part of his kidney, and so if you'd carried on, you were going to slowly put him back together. So. Yeah, no, I quite like that. I've got to remember that, and I'll do that for another story. But yeah, no, in my head that was like something else. I'll probably put a little bit too much for like a quick. It was supposed to be like a 4-hour one shot. What else was happening? Yeah, so what you could have found out if you weren't absolutely retarded at the library was at certain points in your lives you were all actually together with Emily, and then as you were growing up from like birth, your first instance, and then through your whole life, you always all came together on the same day of the year, just by chance. You just never remembered. Again, that was their influence. The shop, if you look in the shop, um, the day after, nobody remembers the girl, so you threw a massive spanner into the works of her turning back up, because she was meant to have like already been taken away. But if you look, so nobody spends money, but everyone's got unlimited sort of wealth at that place. It's because obviously they're super rich. You also see that people that in that leather book was the tally for what everybody owed, but it was tallied up from the start of, so they were like in hundreds of thousands of dollars they were owing to the shop because they never had to pay, and nobody ever, the population never changed. Talked about the fishery. Yeah, you went to the house, you found most of the stuff at the house, so the sacrifice, understand there's something going on, the lighthouse. Documentation, Pierre found most of that at the village, I talked about that. Oh, the police station thing, nobody went there, but basically all this, it reinforces that this is not a normal village. There's no crime, no one's ever reported crime. This also again reinforces no new births or deaths, and nobody ever turns up to the village. Doctor did, lighthouse, yeah, you did. So yeah, so like every generation they have one that's picked as the sacrificee. So they don't actually kill her off. She just turns into a deep one and goes and lives with them happily. It's like part. Yeah, so it's part her choice to do it. She's not like conscious about it, but subconsciously she wants to be doing this. Hence why she's so good at swimming and so forth. So your choices were at the end of the adventure. Yeah, basically at the end of the adventure, if you cast a spell, she turns to a deep one. And actually they leave quite peacefully because you've kept the bargain. So the deep one appears and he's like, yep, fair enough. The only problem is, you've passed this curse on to the next generation of people. And then the story becomes you having to set the next generation up for... you have to go out and manipulate their lives, so then they all end up at this place. So that's what your lives become if you let her become a deep one. If you don't do this spell, she transforms agony. She gets up and then attacks you, but I thought it'd work better if you had to make the choice yourself. So you kill her, which breaks the rest of the spell, and then because the deal's broken, the deep ones take vengeance out on the place. But the spell is now broken, so you don't have to go and do. I actually had if you kill her outright without breaking the spell first, the deep one just turns up and attacks you. Because the summoner releases the protection spell, the thingy, and he's enraged. The deep one tries to eat you all, and then they just try again in 20 years because they blame it all on you or whatever. I think that's it. Questions? Happy? I'll get. Alright, whose turn is it next? Isaac, is it?